Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new edition of the Akashic Swan portal. We're looking at the week of August 16th through the 22nd, 2021, and I'm using the Illuminating Journey cards that I created with the guidance of the Akashic Records. I'm Jen Duchenne of jendushen.com, Akashic Swan Guidance. We do have a lot of energy happening. We have a full moon coming at the end of the week on the 22nd. So very powerful as we are in this 13 months, which is about empowering ourselves through death, right? Through the dying of what we no longer need and the redemption or the rising up of what is true for us. So first card, the number 4. And I love it when the cards show up with numbers, even though I love the soul portals, because you can't argue with the number. This is it, right? It's this triangle or a 4 square. There's a square has 4 sides. It's very stable. 4 represents boundaries. It represents grounding. It represents the earth, and it also represents that number, which is, remember I mentioned the 13, 1 and 3 is 4. It represents that number 4, which talks about or speaks to death and rebirth, when we're coming back to grounding into who we need to be. Right? This is why these are the things I need to deal with that maybe I've been avoiding or not wanting to deal with because it's too much trouble. In my case, I have a small example of what's happened for me is I have been sent a parcel and I'm trying to get my parcel. And in order for me to get my parcel, I have to do all these things that I don't understand how to do. And so I have been spending an inordinate amount of time trying to get that sorted so I can actually receive my package. And I have still not received my package. However, I was determined that I am going to get this package. So whatever it takes, I'm going to just keep going back. And at some point, if I can't figure it out, I'm going to ask somebody else for help. So believe me, I did everything I needed to do, even though I was so irritated and so angry about it, but it didn't matter. Like, being angry didn't get me my package, right? But focusing and going, okay, I want this package. What does it require me to do? What do I have to learn? Who do I have to talk to? What do I have to discover? What do I need to bring to the table? What do I need to know in order to move past this feeling of being helpless and I can't move forward? So that's really what this is speaking about, because we are laying new foundations. We are setting up a new system for so many of us. Whatever it is we've been doing isn't working. So now we're creating a new system. But in order to create a new system, the old has to die, the old way of being, the expectancy that things will be easy, like me expecting a package to just arrive. Why should there be a problem, right? And instead being this problem and knowing, okay, I don't have the documents, I have to pay tax, that's fine, just let me pay the tax. I couldn't even do that. Like, I had to go through each excruciating step and then thinking, oh, I've got it. And then there was another step or something else that didn't happen. Like, why isn't anything happening? And finally getting to the place where, okay, I've done everything I need to do. And now I've talked to who I need to talk to. Now I understand how this works. So I now need to wait for that package to come to me. And hey, I feel so empowered from doing something so tiny, right? So so now we have another number. So we go from the 4 and the energy of the 4, the green, the idea of ending old things so we can create a new system, really get into what it is we want to create. And then we have the 5. And the 5 is on a rocker. It's open on both sides. It's the middle of the numbers, between the root numbers between 1 and 9. It is about movement, about change. So once we understand that we're letting go of the old, and we're establishing a new system, that we're creating something, a foundation that establishes us and makes us feel safe and grounded and connected, then we can start to move forward, right? And we are in a 5 years. So this is very interesting. We're in a 4-month, universally, it's an 8 months, of course, by the calendar, the Gregorian calendar. And we're in a 5 universal year. So a 4 universal month, a 5 universal year. I think this speaks volumes to how much we cannot avoid moving through change. Like the only way we are going to feel that we have established new boundaries, new safety, new awareness, new grounding is by understanding that change is inevitable, and we have to do the things that allow us to expand into change. Just like my story about the parcel. I didn't want to push it off to someone else. I actually wanted to figure out how I needed to do it. And now I have that knowledge. So I feel expanded by my knowledge, and I feel more settled, like, oh, that was a mystery. I didn't know how that mystery worked, but now it's not a mystery anymore. I actually know how it works, so I can now take a bigger step and do something else, or open myself up to something else. And the third and final card, like, wow, here's another number. I don't think I've ever had 3 numbers in a row, certainly not for reading here. And we have the 7. So with this idea of being, allowing what needs to die so we can actually make a very good foundational system going forward. You know how sometimes we hold on to something because we still like it? I find that sometimes, like with my writing, there was like, oh, here's a great phrase, or I'm going to make it work, right? I'm going to fit it in somehow. And then I got to the place, well, wait, that's stupid. Don't do that, because it's weakening the writing, right? So by keeping something that, even though we like it, but it doesn't belong, we are weakening our foundations, weakening our ability to have boundaries and to be grounded and be connected and know who we are, so that we're free to move. And once we have this movement, this opening of our heart, this moving into expressing our voices and really going, okay, I'm with this, I'm ready, I can do these things, I can figure this out, or I can get someone to help me. We're getting curious, and we're enlarging our ability, and we actually increasing our velocity so we can move faster, which is really important right now, because now we've got it, right? The foundational piece has landed, like it's not going back to what it was. I can move and expand. And then we get the 7, which is like a lightning strike. It is the number that kind of infuses us with lightning, like a lightning bolt is hitting us in our heart, in our throats, in our bodies. And we're going, yeah, okay, I can see something I couldn't before. So it brings us awareness from the past to help us move into the future, in the present, of course, because it all happens in the present. Like if we're not aware, like, oh, that's how this works. Well, that's what I need to do, right? And we can certainly relate it to anything, just like me relating it to my parcel, which could be something so insignificant and yet has enormous impact, certainly on my life, because it was like, it's my stuff and I want it. Now, how do I get it? And so while it seems small, it is major, because it gets us stuck. And so once we can go there and go, oh, I know how to do this. I'm not stuck. I'm not doing what I did before. I'm doing something new. And my system recognizes it. So this 7 allows us to truly connect to the wisdom of our soul, to the part of our being that needs to integrate so we can raise our vibration, so we can go to the next place, so we can become the next level of who we are. And that's what the 7 brings us. It's like, yes, take a pause, take a rest. It's the Sabbath. It's the 7th day. It's the wisdom of integration. So something we've had to let go of that has died or is dying, so that we can establish a new foundation. letting us move more wholly, more enthusiastically into the present, into movement, into change, into doing what we need to do, into welcoming that. And then this, the awareness that by doing those things, we have now moved to another level of who we are and a new level of knowing that allows us to go, oh, so this is what it feels like to be me in this place. This is what it feels like to be beyond that obstacle or that pebble in the road. And here I am with my wisdom, so I'm going to rest with my wisdom. So I'm going to dance to it, listen to music, take a break, really allow that wisdom to filter into my system so I recognize that I have grown. And with that growth, I can now go back over again and go to the next thing, whatever it is that I need to create the foundation around, or maybe my foundation is created and I'm building on it. I'm laying the bricks and I'm building it. Changing, moving, gaining wisdom, sitting with it. So action and dedication to detail, freedom of movement, and then integrating the wisdom that we get through the process. So this message this week is for you to think about how you can do those things over and over again, whether it's a tiny thing or a big thing. Bring it down to those things and realize this is how it needs to be, or this is how I want it to be. What do I need to put in place so I can then move forward, feel that expanse, and then realize and integrate. Wishing you lots of love during this week and a great sense of accomplishment and awareness of how amazing you really are. Doing the things you need to do is awesome. Patting yourself on the back and just appreciating who you are and the experiences you're having. I'm Jen Deshen, jendeshen.com, Akashic Swan Gardens, and I will talk to you next week. Oh yes, likes, follows, comments appreciated.